But there's something that's been on my mind all day, and I just had to make sure that I got it out while it's still fresh and while I'm still like really hyped up about it. I wanted to talk to y'all about making sure that we know what we have and we have clear understanding of how everything is set up. And not only do we need to know what we have, we need to make sure that our family members know what we have. So I've been seeing a lot of situations lately where my clients come to me, they have a loved one who's died, and they don't know what to do in order to handle their affairs. They might know that there's probably a will somewhere, there might be a trust somewhere, but they don't know where it is because their loved one never told them where they hid it. So they know it's out there, but they don't know where to find it. They don't know what lawyer prepared the will for them or prepared the trust. So they have a hard time getting access to those documents because they just don't know where they are. And then for some people, they might think, I think I generally know where it is. It's probably in the house somewhere, but they don't know where to look. And y'all know how we keep our stuff sometimes where we just live in life and we're not really thinking about the fact that somebody might have to go into that closet that we didn't organize, or somebody might have to look in that drawer that we never organized, or just things like that. We got to make sure that our stuff is organized, that our family knows where to find things. We can't be having birth certificates and death certificates sitting in bags somewhere. We can't be having our important documents under the mattress in the bedroom or in the top drawer in the shoebox along with some receipts and other things that we don't need. We need to make sure that our items are organized. And I'm saying we because it's me too. I need to make sure that my stuff is organized because I pray that I'm here for many, 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 many more years. But if something happened to me, then folks be in for a rude awakening. I'm just being honest about that because I got stuff everywhere. So it's time for me to get organized. This is my wake up call as well as y'all's wake up call. We got to get organized. We need to know where our important documents are. We need to put them in a place that our family members can find them when they need it. We need to make sure that not only do they know where it is, but we need to make sure that they know how to use it, that they understand what we have stored away somewhere. If you have a life insurance policy and it's in your dresser drawer, it's not going to do anybody any good if they are looking for life insurance policies and they don't even know what the companies are. Because you looking, you seeing Omaha, you seeing, whatever kind of name of life insurance. I'm not trying to give anybody any shout outs. Hey y'all, hey. We want to make sure that when we have this important stuff that our family knows what to do with it. Another issue I see is debts. So I see debts as being one of the most, I guess, bothersome things that my clients are having to deal with. Their loved one has died. They have debts, but they don't know what's legit and what's not. They sitting at home and they get a statement in the mail from a credit card company saying that John Doe owes us $10,000 for this credit card debt. But your family doesn't know anything about your credit card and spending habits. They don't know what kind of debt is legit and not. And so this is something I hadn't really thought about much, but I think we need to keep record of all the bills that we have and then keep it up to date so that our family knows what's the most current status of this account. What was this account for? Some debts, when it comes to settling an estate, some debts are have a higher priority than others. A medical bill of someone's final expenses is going to have a higher priority than a credit card bill. And so if you just get a bill in the mail and somebody saying that your parent owed us money or your sister owed me money, you need to know what is that bill for so that you can prioritize it when it comes to paying off debts. So that's something else I'm seeing, that we need to make sure that we categorize our debts, that we make sure that our family knows, who we paying bills to. And it may not be something that you want to tell them now. You may not want to say, I got a, what kind of credit card? I got a Chase credit card with this much debt on it, and I use it to go shopping or whatever. You might not want to share that right now, But when it's time for them to handle your affairs, they need to know what's what. So that's another thing that I'm just seeing is families are needing to um, I don't know what they talking about. I'm gonna just keep going. Families are needing to one make sure that they're keeping their documents and keeping their things organized so that their loved ones know where to find it when they need it. But then number two, if you have debts, you need to make sure that that somebody in your family understands where those debts are coming from, what they're about, so that you can make sure that there is a plan in place to get those debts paid off and that they're paid off in the right way. I'm kind of rambling now because probably because it's late, but I'm just thinking about those debts again. I want everybody to know from a lawyer's perspective that the family is not required to pay the debts of their loved one out of their own personal finances. Now, if that family member's estate has money, if it has resources, then they need to make sure that there's money set aside to pay those debts off. But as far as like, let's say that someone's mother has passed, the child is not responsible for paying the mother's taxes. However, they if the mother had money in their estate, then they are required to pay those debts. Did I say taxes? Maybe it's too late for me to be doing a YouTube video because I'm just saying stuff. So if you want to keep that property that those taxes are associated with, you probably do need to pay the taxes. But when it comes to like a credit card bill, you may not have to pay your loved one's credit card bill if the estate doesn't have enough money to cover it. But if the estate has enough money to cover it, then you probably need to make sure that money's set aside. But these are all things you need to talk with your lawyer about. So I said, one, make sure your stuff is organized and that your family knows where to find your important papers. I'm talking about wills, trusts, talking about death certificates, birth certificates, life insurance policies, all that kind of stuff. Then number two is get a handle on your debts. If you can start paying those things off now, while you still can and your family doesn't have to worry about it, that's all the better. But at the least, I want you to make sure that you're keeping track of your debts so that your family members can know where things are and they know if a creditor's claim is legitimate or not. The third thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about tonight was if you own land, really understanding what you own. You need to know the boundaries of your land. You need to get a surveyor out there if you don't know so that they can help you to map out exactly where the boundaries of your property are. In addition to mapping out the boundaries of your property, you need to understand the nature of that property. You need to know the characteristics of it. Because if you own it, you don't want to just be in the dark about what you own. You want to make sure that you're keeping track of potential trespassers or any other liabilities. If somebody's dumping on your property and leaving toxic waste or whatever it is they might be leaving, you want to make sure that you are aware of those things so that you can take quick action to make sure that things are remediated. But one thing that I'm hearing a lot from families, their grandparents owned land, their great grandparents owned land, and they know they owned land, but they never really visited it and they don't know the boundaries of it. They don't know the acreage. They wouldn't know if somebody took a portion of it without their knowing. They just wouldn't know because they never knew the boundaries of the property. And so that's the last thing I want to talk to y'all about is making sure that one, you understand if you own property, what the boundaries of that property are, the characteristics of it. But then also, if your loved ones don't know what you own and the boundaries of it, if they don't know how to pay the property taxes or where the insurance policy is for that land and how to make sure the premium stays paid, then your family stands to lose it. So the name of this video is Ignorance is Not Bliss. When it comes to matters of your property, your assets, your debts, you need to be in the know. And not only do you need to be in the know, you need to make sure that your family members and loved ones are in the know so that they can make sure everything's taken care of either after you're gone or even if you got sick, got incapacitated, you became incapacitated. We experienced this with a loved one very recently where they got sick and it was something sudden and out the blue, nobody expected it. We didn't realize that they were manually paying their health insurance. So we had to jump on it and make sure that that health insurance policy was being paid automatically because otherwise they could have left lost their health insurance, and that health insurance is needed to take care of them in that time. So these are things we also need to think about, making sure that if we don't have things on auto pay, that our family members know about it. Or if we do have things on auto pay, we got to make sure there's enough money going into that account to pay those things. So there's a lot that goes into planning for the possibility of incapacity, planning for our death, which everybody's going to experience that. But we don't know the day or the hour. So you got to make sure that you're prepared for some kind of sudden situation in the event that that were to occur. We hope it doesn't, but you just got to be prepared. So I want just to encourage everybody to take at least one action. Maybe not tonight because it's after 10 o'clock my time. It's probably late in your area as well. But if you're watching this when it's still light outside, think of one thing you can do to make things better for you, better for your family. Maybe you might look into investing in a binder that has dividers that organizes your important papers in different sections. Make sure you have your very important documents in a waterproof bag that might come with that binder. That's one way you can get organized. You can go through those bags that you've been saving important things and not important things in, and throw away the unimportant things, and categorize the important things. You can give a family member a call, someone who you might have either included as part of your estate plan as an executor or trustee or power of attorney. You can reach out to them or talk to somebody who you're thinking about listing in that role, and talk to them about what's going on with your assets, what's going on with your property. Make sure that they know where to find things in the event that they need it either for you or to handle your business. So let's take some actions. Maybe not tonight, but tomorrow when it's daytime, take some action so that you can set yourself up in a better position, so that you can set your loved ones up to be in a better position, so they're not scrambling and stressing. Like, just imagine the stress that family members are going through when they have a loved one to die, or when they have a loved one to get sick suddenly and they don't know where to start to make sure that their business is taken care of. There are things we can do to set our loved ones up for success. So y'all make sure y'all do that. So this is attorney Veronica McClendon. I really enjoyed talking with y'all, and I look forward to coming back with more tips, more information that will be helpful to you and your family when it comes to managing your assets, preparing and creating wealth, and leaving a legacy. Y'all take care.